saw a lot of people. It was not an easy show to cast.
Gradually, we started to find that we were just picky for the right reasons.
We had done a pilot the year before David Schwimmer had auditioned for us, and he was his voice was in our heads. So we pursued him.
When I got the call, I was really surprised, and I flew back to Los Angeles. After that meeting, I was completely sold on doing the show.
And you never knew she was a lesbian.
No, okay? Why does everyone keep fixating on that?
What's interesting is that for most of these parts, these were the only 6 people who nailed these parts.
Okay, Phoebes, you look in the kitchen, I will look in the back closet.
I can save you time, ladies. I'm right here.
Like Chandler, we saw a ton of people for Chandler, and I thought that was going to be the easiest part to cast because it's a lot of jokes.
All right, when was 1990?
Okay, you have to stop the Q-tip when there's resistance.
I guess my name had been on a list or something, but I wasn't available. I was doing another show.
Actor after actor, they're fine, they're okay, it's not funny. We started to doubt the material. We started to think, all right, something's wrong with the character, we need to rewrite this, we need to come up with different things. And then Matthew read it, and it's like, oh, well, there you go. We don't have to change anything, that's it, that's the guy.
I'm an actor, I have a process.
I auditioned for Phoebe. Yeah, it was the regular process, you know. I think I went in for the producers, and then Jim Burrows, who was directing the pilot, and then Warner Brothers, and I just remember there were like 15 people at that audition. Like, actresses were coming out shell-shocked. Like, did you see how many people were in there?
Lisa, we knew from Mad About You. There were a couple of things in Ursula, I think, that connected for us to Phoebe potential, but of course Ursula was, you know, mean, and while she was ditzy on one hand, she was kind of harsh in another, and Phoebe needed to be sweet.
Oh, I gotta go. Whoa, oh, head rush. Oh. One more and then I have to go. Cool.
Lisa showed us that she definitely had the sweetness inside of her.
You agreed to take me in sickness and in health. Well, this is my sickness.
Courtney lent herself to being Monica, especially once we started the show. It was very apparent that Courtney is a person who's in control.
People think that I was auditioning for Rachel. I wasn't, but they were considering me for that. But I read the script and thought that I should be up for Monica, so I kind of lobbied for that, and they let me do it.
I originally auditioned for Rachel.
Oh my God! I'm a woman!
But they thought, a little too much penis.
You sick bastards!
Matt LeBlanc in real life is just your guy's guy, and that's what we needed Joey to be.
I auditioned, I think, like 8 times. I had to keep coming back and keep coming back, and the last one I read with Courtney and Jennifer.
You need anything, you can always come to Joey. Me and Chandler live right across the hall, and he's away a lot.
Rachel was the last we cast because she was also unavailable.
I auditioned for Rachel. They wanted me to come in for Monica, but I liked Rachel.
I got an interview. Where?
Saks Fifth Avenue. Oh, Rachel. Oh, it's like the mothership is calling you home.
We understood that what makes a great sitcom is great comedians, you know, and to find great comedic actors is what I think probably prolonged the process as long as it did.
We were looking for people who could take the words that we'd written and elevate them.
Pivot! Pivot! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
The 6 of us first met at a table read. A couple of them had met, you know, through the audition process, reading with people, but I didn't meet any of them until the table read.
We just all read through the script, and it was amazing. It was, you know, it was sort of the time that I realized the kind of magic was existing in my life.
And I remember the first table read thinking, wow, these guys are great, you better pay attention.
Just hearing the way everybody, you know, their take on their character, because I read it and I, you know, made certain assumptions about what these other people were, and there were some surprises. It was really fun.
There's just something about just their unique sound.
As we were reading and in scene, I was discovering, oh, this is the voice of Phoebe. Oh, this is Chandler.
Where are they?
Yeah, this is nice. We never do anything just the 2 of us.
That's great. Maybe tomorrow we can rent a car, run over some puppies.
Ew, I don't want to do that.
They filled it the way I imagined it sounding.
Not one of us could have been traded out. It was like the six of us were like the perfect pieces of this puzzle, and it was great.
You have a third nipple?
You bitch. Whip it out, whip it out.
Come on. There's nothing to see. It's just a tiny bump. It's totally useless.
Oh, as opposed to your other multifunctional nipples.
Joey was in a porno movie.
If I'm going down, I'm taking everybody with me.
When we first pitched the show, although we always said it was an ensemble show, we kind of thought of Phoebe and Chandler as a little more secondary, that they'll provide humor when we need it.
All right, here's my $7.50, but I think you should know that this money is cursed.
What?
Oh, I cursed it. So now bad things will happen to he who spends it.
That's all right. I'll take it. Bad things happen to me anyway. This way I can split them up with a movie.
They gave us much, much more than that. They became so central to the ensemble.
In the first season, we had to come up with a way to save some money on the next week's episode. So the idea that I came up with that I gave to Martin and David is somehow you need to create a story that involves no guest cast, that involves no additional sets. Somehow it all takes place in the basic sets of the apartment, and we add nothing to it. That vice became a virtue that became a hallmark of Friends, and we did the episode, the one when no one was ready.
You hide my clothes, I'm wearing everything you own.
Oh my God! That is so not the opposite of taking somebody's underwear.
Look at me, I'm Chandler. Could I be wearing any more clothes?
There was an ease and a comfort and the way they worked off of each other, and you realized there's not a weak link.
I think these episodes where it just became about the six of them in the room were something we looked forward to each year on Friends. And I think we did at least one a year. And in some years we started to like the, as we call them, the bottle shows, the show inside of a bottle.
Hurry! Monica's gonna make you pack. She's got jobs for everyone. Now it's too late for me, but save yourselves!
We actually started to do more of them, and just found that there was that great strength, and the show was at its best when the six of them were together in one room.
What a great night. Chandler can't do it. These guys kissed.
What? You guys kissed? Oh, this is huge.
No, it's really not huge.
And people thinking it's huge has led Monica to believe that we are stealing her thunder, which we are not.
Well, we're still talking about it, aren't we?
Well, yeah, that and Chandler's problem.
I'm engaged! Chandler and Monica! Oh my God! Oh my eyes! My eyes!
I loved when Monica and Chandler started seeing each other, and it was a secret, and then how everyone found out.
You? And you?
Yes, but you cannot tell anyone. No one knows.
How? When?
It happened in London.
In London?
We were in London shooting it, and Monica's under the covers, and Ross comes in, and I talk to him for a second, and then Ross leaves, and then Monica pops up and says, "Do you think he saw us?" And then we had to hold for 27 seconds.
I was so happy that people were excited and surprised.
We didn't want to invest too much too quickly because sometimes, on a sitcom you put people together and it takes energy out of the show. It kind of relieves sexual tension in a certain way. And so we wanted to see gradually how it would go with Monica and Chandler. And I think the period of them keeping it a secret allowed us to see, how much does the audience really love this.
We're in a relationship?
I'm afraid so.
I was really excited to have a storyline that had an arc and that was going to keep going, and I was really happy about that.
I can't believe you're gonna ask Monica to marry you.
I know.
She really planned the whole thing and lit all the candles and decided to ask Chandler to marry her, and she breaks down and can't. It's really hard for her, but that was exciting. That was probably one of my favorite episodes.
Monica, will you marry me?
Yes.
The show isn't afraid of going for emotional moments, and that sure was a big one. You know, we both started crying, and you know, a big moment was happening for the show.
It was fun. It was really nice to go through that whole process with Matthew.
I love you too.
I don't know the actual names of the chords, but I made up names for the way my hand looks while I'm doing them.
I didn't like the guitar. I wasn't getting it, and so I think I even asked, what if she plays the bongos?
Smelly cat, what are they feeding you?
In the beginning, we actually had a guitar teacher come in, and it actually, by making her better, it made the comedy not so good. So Lisa was really hurt. I said, you know what, I don't want the guitar lessons anymore. I've learned a few chords, that's enough. That's all Phoebe would know anyhow, so I'll make everything do with just these chords. And she did for 10 years.
Whenever I get married, guess who won't be asked to sing? Somebody named Geller and somebody else named Bing!
I loved when Phoebe was pregnant and that whole arc.
Frank Jr. and Alice got married. Oh my God! Yeah, and they're gonna have a baby. And they want me to grow it for them in my uterus.
It was really nice of, you know, Marta and David. They said, look, we hate those shows where, you know, the actor is pregnant and then everyone's pretending they're not. And, you know, you're going to be like 7 months pregnant by the time we're done. So it's going to be hard to hide. We've come up with a storyline, and yeah, it was a great storyline.
My sister's gonna have my baby!
And I also was thinking, oh great, so I don't have to hide it, and that's so good. It's so good. But by the time they got to the storyline, I was starting to show, so I actually had to hide it. And then she was like, you know, having triplets, so when Phoebe was showing, I wasn't showing enough, so I still had to wear padding and stuff. I think there was one show where it was just me and my pregnantness.
You look even more beautiful than you did yesterday.
Oof.
In fact, I'm going to kiss you now.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, I can't get away with stuff like that. It sounded sexy in my head, so I...
Hank is hilarious, and he can do anything. He can just do anything. And I loved you know, the David Phoebe relationship. I liked it a lot.
What are you doing here?
I have a question I need to ask you.
I have a question I was kind of going to ask her myself.
It's also just too exciting that it's Mike for Phoebe and Paul Rudd, he's funny. He's really funny, and he's such a good actor. This is the guy for Phoebe, which is nice because he's normal and cute. That's good too.
I'm standing here today knowing that I have everything I'm ever going to need.
It makes me happy that Phoebe's really wrapping up in such a nice, normal way, finally. You know, for the first time in her life, she's kind of normal. So, I like that.
If he doesn't like you, this is all a moot point.
Huh. A moo point?
Yeah, it's like a cow's opinion. You know, it just doesn't matter. It's moo.
He's a guy who really always says what's on his mind. He's a rotten liar, and just food is a passion of his, you know, as much as women.
You boys are about to see something really special. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
We have this in the audience when we shoot the show. There's a guy, Jim Bentley, does the warm-up. He got into this habit of getting the audience to say, how you doing? And it's pretty funny. So it's like a catchphrase all of a sudden.
I'm an actor.
Wow.
Career-wise, I think it's always best if he just is unsuccessful because he's the underdog. you know, and you can root for him. I love that he was on the soap opera in a coma for like a year, had no lines, just lay there, go to work and lay there every day. That was pretty funny.
Cut. Down back, baby!
Joey and Rachel, which was such an effort and so difficult to accomplish, was so gratifying.
The Joey and Rachel storyline was something that scared the actors very much.
Everyone knows that Ross and Rachel are supposed to be together, and we spent 10 years keeping them apart. But to see her with one of the regulars, they don't belong together, that's not right. But I remember we were talking about David Crane, and he said, but it's like playing with fire, and it's exciting to write. And I thought, well, it's great.
It's always been you, Rach.
I'm pregnant.
I love you.
I have a very special spot in my heart for Ross and Rachel.
I do love you.
Oh, I love you too, and I am never letting you go again.
Okay, because this is where I want to be.
Ross used to have a crush on Rachel. We didn't know that was going to be the central romance of the series. And it was just chemistry. It was just seeing the two of them work together, and just something magical happened.
You know, you probably didn't know this, but back in high school, I had a major crush on you.
I know.
You did? Oh, okay.
It's a testament to the writers to be able to find, hopefully, grounded and organic ways to keep that relationship between Ross and Rachel evolving. You always feel a sense of history between these two and a sense of destiny, that these two belong together.
I think we want them to be. I want them to be. I've always wanted them to be.
As Phoebe said, we're each other's lobster.
See? He's her lobster.
I've always remembered that because some crazy way it's true.
We gave David something physical to do, and he said, no, you got to give me more of that.
There was this bit with an umbrella.
And you remember my brother Ross?
Sure.
Hey. That awkward physical comedy because of Rachel in the same room.
The thing that appealed to us about David was his quirkiness and in terms of his timing.
I used to say this word, hi. Hi. In such a way that I thought all the pain of his existence was going into that one greeting of hi. You know, I haven't said that in a long time. It makes me laugh just doing it.
Schwimmer is just perfect. We've just feed off each other.
I think the thing about Jennifer being the one to be Rachel was that she wasn't just funny and beautiful. There was something special about her. There was something fresh.
I am over you. And that, my friend, is what they call closure.
She kind of embodied, I think, every male's high school dream of that unattainable prom date. So there was a connection to her.
Let's get some frozen yogurt or something.
No. A break from us.
The breakup, well, that was sort of the beginning of the end for them. I mean, that's the beginning of the beginnings of endings and beginnings. I mean, they've had so many start and stops, you know.
Pretty much everything with Ross and Rachel has been just delicious.
At the altar.
Hi, Ross.
Ross says, take thee, Rachel. Just an completely unconscious slip.
I remember thinking, God, this is good. Like, this is smart. These guys are so smart. We couldn't have an audience for that part. Every time we have to always remove the audience for the cliffhangers because, you know, obvious reasons. You don't want to spoil it, but I just remember that it was just chilling. It was just kind of, you know, he said, Rachel.
We finally get Ross and Rachel together and that amazing kiss.
It was a great moment. Great moment.
I can't believe you guys are leaving this place.
No. No.
You do your best to prepare, but it's hard to prepare for something like saying goodbye to something that's lasted longer than high school and college and, you know, add a couple of years there. So you do your best, but I don't know how people are going to be feeling the last night. Like, I don't know whether I'm going to be the person who's weeping and crying or whether I'm going to be the person that's consoling, or maybe it'll be somewhere in the middle.
I'm aware of it, but as we were reading the script this morning and realized when we come back for Christmas we only have 2 more episodes to film, It's just, you know, and as we're saying goodbye to each other within the story, it's going to be crazy. I told them today they should just film the table read because that's as good as it's going to get. They're lucky to get words out of me.
I think I'd love to see it end just something nice and funny and warm and simple.
I mean, it's like, it's the water cooler show. When people, it's like the way people talk.
That is so not true.
It all started on the show. 10 years is a long time. It'll be sad, yeah.
Just everyone happy and moving on, and we just get a sense that they'll all be okay.
I used to say, oh, I think it'd be fun if Monica got really fat and Chandler loved her anyway. And
I'd like it to end with a, you know, with a nice semblance of hope for all the characters.
I don't. I don't want it to end. It's kind of like an unnecessary evil, though, isn't it? It has to happen. So I don't know. I don't know how I'd want it to end. I just want everybody to be happy.
You know, we've all gotten 10 years older. The show's gotten a little bit more adult. And while maintaining this kind of just general theme of being funny and being kind of, you know you're going to laugh at when you watch an episode of Friends, but the laughs still surprise you. You're like, whoa, did he actually just do that? And that's what's been the magic about it.
Who'd you miss the most?
Monica.
Gotcha. The cast I miss the most. Not that I won't see them, but I won't see them every day like we do now. I think we all take it for granted that I can have lunch with them every day.
They've formed me into the actor that I have become. All of them. I learned something from all of them. I'm inspired by all of them.
My favorite part of the show is those 6 people together in one room. That's where Friends was truly great to me.
This is never going to come again. So I'm really trying to appreciate everything it is.
already it's painful just thinking about the end. So these are my friends. This is my family. So this will be really, really tough.
Just the idea that hundreds and hundreds of people come every day to put on this show, and from craft service to the executive producers, it's just a group of really nice, warm-hearted people, all driven towards putting on the best show possible. And with us all having that same kind of goal, it's just a team effort. So I'm going to miss everybody, and of course the members of the cast. And, it's going to be a sad time.
Show night, I guess like the actual performing with these great actors and the process of doing it live feels like a wonderful one-act play that you get to do every week in front of a great audience, and working with the writers in that collaborative process. So even in show night, if a joke doesn't work, you're in there coming up with other great lines that hopefully will work better. And I think I'll miss that the most.
Nothing will compare to this. Just in the pleasure I get out of coming to work every single day.
You know what I'll miss the most is the paycheck. No.
Rehearsing and joking around and, laughing a lot at what these other people do every day.
Coming to a place every day where you know everybody and love everybody, and I'm really gonna miss that a lot.
To the fans, just thank you. Thank you for watching us and being with us and being as invested as we've been over the last 10 years, which is unbelievable to say, but thank you so much.
Sorry, but we're done. They're reruns, but I'm sorry.
Stay tuned. There's more to come.
Well, I hope you'll miss us. We'll miss you.
Thank you.
We've had the greatest time entertaining you, and thanks for watching.
I just want to say that I love you, and I'm going to miss you.